Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Flyover Live. We're coming to you from Liberty Street on Mass Ave in downtown Indianapolis. Let's get started. Thank you all for joining us for this week's episode of Flyover Live, a weekly podcast talking about the latest sports, entertainment, political news from the eyes of three Midwestern millennials. I'm your host, Cliff Dennis. I'm joined here today with Brent Pierce.
Hello.
And producer Mark is behind the scenes today. So before we get started, I just want to remind everybody where you can find us at Flyover Live for Instagram and Twitter. And facebook.com/flyoverlive. So, like I start us out every week, Brent, any exciting things you did this weekend?
Well, it's football season, so I
disappeared into oblivion.
I hope I did. I did. We'll touch on this, I hope, during the show, but the Indiana Hoosiers went 4-0 this weekend, and
So were you at the game?
if anybody, no, I was watching.
Just watching it, okay.
You saw me actually watching the game at the place that you were at.
Yeah, see, I don't recall too much of that.
You watched the soccer match early, I think you said, which might have contributed to that.
Right.
But
Those English games start, so early,
7:30 or
so
something.
does
So,
my day, and so
a
does
lot of
my
breakfast
drinking.
beers going on there, maybe. But no, it was a good weekend for football because we've had bad news the last couple of weeks with our Colts.
Right.
But to get the win this weekend on Sunday and IU on Saturday, heading into Ohio State this Saturday for Indiana, it was a good football weekend. Not a ton more than that, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
You?
I did the soccer match in the morning. Got to see an old friend who was in town from Detroit. He was in town because his brother just got sworn in yesterday to be an attorney. So he was celebrating with his little baby
guy.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the land of lawyering. But anyway, we were celebrating that, and then we
You were celebrating because I saw you with an
celebrating.
AMF.
And for the kids at home, we'll just let you Google that because
Yeah.
we're trying to keep this a clean
It's
show.
like this blue, like 12 booze drink.
Interesting.
Yeah. Adios. MF.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was at like noon. So
wow.
it was one of those Saturdays.
It was a good day. It was a good
Yeah,
day. And I
absolutely.
stopped by a neighbor's fish fry, which was pretty
you
awesome.
go.
About the best tasting fish fry I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
So
Those
it
are
was a
always
good
fun.
It sounds like everything tastes better after one of those cocktails.
Well, that's probably
like all of a sudden
true.
you kind of
Yeah.
have this urge to go to White Castle, even though sober you'd never go to White Castle.
Although I think legitimately it was a pretty darn good fish fry because everything was from scratch.
What he's saying is don't disparage his neighbor's fish fry. All
No.
right?
I don't know.
Well, no,
his
based on
neighbors.
his
Perhaps
consumption
they're-
that day, all
Perhaps
right?
they're award-winning chefs, and I just don't know.
I think so. Well, it's
But I
just
think
I've
you're
been
right, actually.
I've been to a few Catholic fish fries in the last few years, and I've been let down every time because they buy I've gone to a few where there's store-bought fish, and it's just pathetic. And this was actually everything was
We're
homemade.
not knocking Catholics, are we?
No.
Are we in the show? Okay.
No,
All
just,
right.
just their fish
Yeah,
fry.
jeez.
The standards of the fish fries have gone down.
Okay, that's fair.
No, I know,
So
now
what
the-
you're saying is they're secretly
Yeah.
using Long John Silver's
Exactly.
as a catering
Yeah.
Now that the
service.
Pope's
But that
out of the
would be
country, I
awesome.
just feel like I
Actually.
can do whatever I want.
Yeah, true. Anything goes now.
Right. Well, anyway, if you're wondering who those voices were, they're our guests for this week. We've got Peyton Slamming
Correct.
from
Number 18.
Yep. From Naptown, Roller Girls, and then Namaste. Namaste. Sorry. And what number are you?
424.
424.
Yeah.
Meaning?
Birthday. My birthday.
Wonderful. All
Yeah.
right.
You share a birthday with my husband.
Oh, wow.
I just
There you
realized
go.
that.
You're like, all right, good people all
Good
around
people,
then.
I don't know why I didn't put that together until just now.
We're learning things.
Yes.
Well, the Naptown Roller Girls, I did a little bit of research on the organization in general before the show. So hopefully I've got some of this right for those listening who haven't who've kind of heard the name before and not really ever looked into it, or have not heard of it at all, and they just need to go out and see you guys. What I found out was that it's part of the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. So
Yes.
you guys are, both your own kind of league, but also represent Indianapolis in this larger organization. Is that right?
That's correct. And the Women's Flat Track Derby Association is an international organization that encompasses leagues all over the world. There's leagues now pretty much everywhere. Egypt has a league, Beirut. There's a couple of leagues that have just formed in the Soviet Union. There's a bunch in Australia. A couple of the best leagues in the world are in Australia.
Really?
Tons and tons in Europe, but it's all the Women's Flat Track Derby Association, or the WFTDA. Think of it like the NFL. Like they set the rules for us.
Okay.
The thing that we often find is that people don't understand that roller derby has a pretty lengthy rule book. Like we have to take a written test on it. It's 70-something pages of things you cannot do. So people are always like, well, isn't it kind of on par with professional wrestling? No, it's very real. When you get hit, you get legitimately hit. You go down. You can get legitimately injured.
You guys don't do cage matches or anything like that, or
No.
chairs to
well,
the.
I do other sports on the side, so potentially
okay.
yes, but for roller
Okay.
derby, not so much.
Let's keep it to roller derby. I
Yes.
think, today.
So I did
Yeah.
look up and see though that you guys are, what was it? The last ranking was like 48th out of 265 of the worldwide teams. So pretty good.
That's true, and we went to Division II playoffs a few weeks ago, right before Labor Day in Detroit, and we came out of it 2-1 and finished third overall in the bracket.
Okay.
And it's a bracket similar to the NCAA, would you say? It's kind of got that to it. Now, unfortunately,
March Madness feel, I guess. Is
yeah,
it
it's
single elimination,
sort of.
Yeah.
round robin. Maybe y'all play each other and then.
No, it's not round robin. It
Okay.
is. You're put into the bracket based on your ranking, and it's kind of like one plays 10, two plays 9, et
Sure.
cetera, et cetera. And we won our first bout, and then unfortunately we lost our second bout to Nashville, and then we came back on Sunday afternoon and played the Chicago outfit and defeated them. And so we ended up third place, but unfortunately in Division II, which is teams ranked 41 to 60, third place does not go to world champs. That's only in Division I. And we've been to Division I champs twice. Our first time was in 2011, which was really awesome because we hosted the regional tournament here in Indianapolis at the
Oh,
Convention
nice.
Center. So we won the opportunity to go to championships for the first time ever on our home turf, and it was really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the audience that night, and it was electric. It was a very close game. We played Detroit, who was a division rival at the time, and then we made our first trip to champs, and we unfortunately were eliminated in the first round. But then the next year in 2012, we got into champs again for Division I, and this time we made it out of the first round. And then on the second day, we had to play the best team in the world. We had to play Gotham City, which is New York. We had to play.
That's what I was going to ask, is because they're number one in a tournament this weekend. But
That's
go ahead.
right.
But go ahead.
New York is the behemoth. New York, Gotham City.
Gotham City.
Yes, they've had some of the skaters on their team. Susie Hot Rod has been referred to as the LeBron James of roller derby. Her name is so well known. Bonnie Thunders, OMG, WTF.
So
Bonnie Thunders.
Yeah, Bonnie Thunders.
Susie
shaking
Hot
in my
Rod,
boots
LeBron
just hearing
James
that.
of Derby. So is she? What position does she play?
She's primarily a jammer, although she is
Okay.
retired now. She's
Okay.
skating for many of the larger teams that are in like bigger cities like in New York or Los Angeles have home teams. And the home teams play each other as sort of an interleague type of thing. The Windy City Rollers have a system of home teams. And
Okay.
it's a mashup of the higher level skaters and the lower level skaters. So Susie Hot Rod still plays on one of those home teams
Okay.
and does coaching. But a lot of the big names in roller derby, quote unquote, have retired.
I see.
Because, I mean, you know, it's a sport that you can't do forever, unfortunately. Although there is a woman in I believe, North Dakota who's in her 70s and is playing.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a guy.
Would you feel bad? I mean, just knocking
No.
the heck out of her, you know?
No, I wouldn't. Because I would shake her hand after it was over and say, it's
If
awesome
she had a
playing against you.
hand left to shake, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but-
hope I'm still playing when I'm 70.
Yeah, until she
my.
takes you out.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
yeah,
oh,
and then
well.
you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
then
wow,
you-
I just got taken out by a 70-year-old.
So I just asked about one of the positions that Susie Hot Rod, was it? Is a jammer. So that's the scoring position, correct?
Yes, it's kind of like the football.
Okay.
The jammer is the football, in a matter of speaking, because the jammer...
As a human being, they are the football.
Yes. Or in, like, rugby.
You're trying to advance the jammer.
Yes.
Right.
During the...
And so
And-
what are the other two positions? Or
Pivot, which is a blocker as well, and then the other blockers. And
Okay.
each team, to start off a jam, will field 3 blockers, a pivot, and a jammer. The jammers line up behind a line that's called the jammer line, behind 2 lines of this group of blockers, also known as the pack. The whistle blows, and both jammers, their goal is to get through the pack without fouling, which plays into that whole thing I was talking about earlier with
with all
the
the
huge rule
rules?
book.
Yeah. Yep.
You
Throwing
can't only,
elbows.
yeah, I can't reach over and punch my friend.
Oh, come on. So you're skating just trying to effectively divert without making, you know, big time contact with an opponent to make sure that she
Making
is
contact is just legal.
Yeah, you can make legal
So-
contact,
very
but
subjective, I guess, then, as far as the referees are concerned.
no, I
No,
mean,
that-
if a jammer's coming through and she's got her arms up and clocks somebody in the face like so, that's not good.
So there's
Yeah.
a contact zone.
Yeah, there's a legal
basically.
contact
okay.
zone,
All
no
right.
above the head, no
And for the
below
folks on
knees.
iTunes, that was a karate chop to the face
Yeah,
gesture
that was a
she
karate
made.
That
chop to
was.
the face.
It looked brutal just from
Having
here.
had it happen to me numerous times incidentally,
Yeah.
it's not cool.
So is it 1 point for them to make for the jammer to make it
No.
around
So they
the?
have to.
They got to go around
You
twice.
have to
Go around
pass. Yeah, you have to pass all of the opposing blockers legally, and the first person to do so is called the lead jammer. And to get lead jammer status, once you're out, a referee in the middle will blow the whistle and point. They'll make a pointing motion, and then from there, the jammer is then in scoring position. Now, let's say the other jammer gets out as well. They are also in scoring position. They're just not lead, so they can score
Okay.
points for their team. They just can't call off the jam.
So the lead has the power to call the jam,
Okay.
and the jam can last up to 2 minutes.
Yeah, like if they both get penalties at any point, the jam will go the full 2 minutes.
Okay.
Or if you're just trying to eat the clock.
And then
So-
during the 2 minutes, the jammer's scoring points.
Yeah,
Is
every
that
time you
right?
pass an opposing player's hips, it's a point. If an
Okay.
opposing player is in the penalty box or you lap the other jammer, that's a point.
So what ends up being the typical like scoring ranges for these bouts then? They can really range
It
a
can,
lot.
I mean, it
All over
really
the
just
map.
depends, because if you have a team that's really good with defense, it could be a low scoring game.
Like in
or
the
it could be-
teens or
I've seen them
no.
pretty
It
high.
would
I've been to a
typically-
few.
Really high?
I've
Not
been to a few.
anymore. Back in the beginning of the rebirth of the sport, you'd see more bouts like that.
Uh-huh.
But now,
It's usually one over
When some-
100.
yeah, it's usually
and-
over
Oh, wow.
100.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can see up to 350, 400.
Wow.
Point
And
games.
how long are the matches?
2 30-minute halves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
I've been to a few in my day. It's been a
Yeah.
little while. I had
Yeah,
noticed
I-
the gear.
Like
That
the
means it's
sporting
time to
Naptown
come
gear.
back.
It is time to come back.
Yeah,
I
that's a
agree.
2011, 2012
See?
season shirt
Yeah.
there.
Look at
I was
Like when
there.
you did-
Brent,
back.
always in
For
support.
the golden era. I was there. A friend of mine, Mandy Gariak.
A moose boosh.
A Moose Boosh.
Who's
Yes,
now a member
that's
of the
right.
Indianapolis Fire
She's a
Department.
firefighter now for
Yes.
IFD and getting married soon. I
Yes,
believe.
she
Yep.
is.
Kendall?
Yes.
Austin?
Yes.
Yeah. Went to
You just
high
got
school-
called out.
No, it's Kendall Law. That's her name. Kendall.
Okay.
Yes.
I went to
Congrats.
high school with Mandy. Awesome
awesome.
person, great was a collegiate basketball player.
Yeah, she was
and,
for the University of Indianapolis.
Yeah, great athlete. And so I went to see her play a few times, and she was quite.
She was one of those people that had like a God-given ability. The first time I saw her skate, I thought this girl is something incredibly special. She was such a fantastic jammer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had such fire to her, and
Yeah.
she just, the way she carried herself, her confidence. I mean, her confidence on the track is something like everybody should aspire to in the sport.
Yeah.
Even though she's retired now and gone on to some pretty awesome stuff,
Yeah.
being a firefighter and all.
Absolutely.
That type of confidence is something that you have to mentally.
It's almost
Work
innate,
toward.
right?
Yeah.
I remember, being in high school and watching her play high school basketball, and that was the same mentality she had in that game, which was, it was just super competitive, almost had the blinders on, so she was awesome to watch then, and it was fun to watch her play for you all as well. But I was pretty much like trackside watching the match. And to your point about it not being, fake wrestling stuff, I saw a girl probably tear an 8, just get absolutely. It was a bad block. Somebody, I guess, probably went down on accident and took this girl out, and she was, right in front of me, very much in pain. You take a step back, you're like, wow, this. When you first walk in, you're like, oh, okay, different sport that I'm not used to, and then you see the physicality, and you're like, okay, super, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
super impressed.
Respect, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, by it.
So you guys are on a break at the moment?
Yes, we are. We just went on break, which means no practice all the way through the beginning of 2016.
But for some of us, we'll still be skating.
Yes, a lot of us, to keep in shape in the off season, we'll skate during open skates at our practice facility.
Okay.
We'll go to practice with other teams. We'll do different
Open scrimmages.
open scrimmages. We'll do other workouts. Namaste just took up aerial silks up the road here.
Okay.
I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
So yeah,
There are
we
a lot of
of
ways to
training.
stay in
Yes.
shape.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm on your good side, right?
Sure, for now.
Make it. I gotta say though, your name is Peyton Slamming, right?
It is.
You talk about the game very academically. Is that kind of one of the reasons why you like Peyton, and because he's a cerebral guy, a student of the game? You know what I mean? Is that, or is it just he was an Indy
Completely random.
football player?
No, actually, it comes from somewhere completely different than that. I lived in New Orleans for 3 years, and I'm sure, as you know, Peyton's father, Archie, prior to Drew Brees, was considered the greatest quarterback in New Orleans Saints history.
That's right.
And one of my duties while I lived there was I worked for the New Orleans Saints radio network, which services stations from Texas to the Panhandle with coverage of the games on Sundays.
Very cool.
So I would go to the games pretty much every Sunday during the 2002 and 2003 regular seasons, basically with a media pass, because I knew everybody up front because of these pieces that I put together that would air for the radio network. On
Yeah.
Tuesdays, the NFL takes the day off and goes and does stuff in the community. I would go with the team and interview the players about what they were doing. Like, they could read to kids around Thanksgiving. They do meals for underprivileged children, things like that. I got to go to training camp a couple years in a row. So anyway, in 2003, I happened to be in the broadcast booth, and Archie Manning walked in. And it also happened to be Eli Manning's senior year at Ole Miss, and it was the Sunday night game against the New York Giants.
Ooh.
And Archie was really, really nice. Like, he walked in, he shook my hand, he goes, "Who are you?" And so I introduced myself. I gave him my I had a stage name because I was single at the time, and I kind of wanted my privacy, whatever. And he kind of looks me up and down. He goes, "You don't eat much, do you?" And I said, "Well, I really don't have time for a lunch. It's really hot here. I've managed to lose quite a bit of water weight since I moved here." And he goes, "You're awfully skinny. I'm a little worried about you." And in my mind,
Get her
I'm
a
like,
cheeseburger, y'all.
he's like,
Yeah.
"You make sure you come back and get seconds," because there was turducken, which is a traditional Cajun dish,
yeah.
in the broadcast booth. So I had gone up there to get some turducken because that's going to be better than whatever the press box has.
Yeah.
And basically, I have Archie Manning telling me that I have an eating disorder. And so when I was thinking
But
about
I'm sure
a
he meant
derby
it in
game,
the nicest possible
yeah, I
way.
mean, it was awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I was very, very skinny at the time. But then after I moved here and started kind of getting into the world of roller derby, I was sitting in a broadcast booth at a radio station I was working at, and I was like, well, I'd love to do something related to the Manning family because I had this like kind of odd connection to them. And that's when I came up with it.
Yeah. Archie securing seconds for you.
Yes, yeah. Archie's securing food because he was worried about my
Yeah.
health and my
Right.
nutrition.
So do you guys ever go to these tournaments? I know the one that I found the next opportunity if somebody wanted to see this sport in general is in Omaha this weekend, I guess, right?
You went to
Yes.
Detroit.
I went to cheer on the team.
So do you guys? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Detroit.
So do you guys go even if you're not participating just
Sure.
to check it
Yeah,
out?
a lot of times a group of the team will go and cheer them on, even if they're not on the charter and are not playing. So we did have a group of us that went to Detroit. I don't know that anybody's going to Omaha. I know some people will go to championships.
People go to championships because they want to see the best of the best in the
Yeah,
world.
and that's
this year
November.
it's in St. Paul.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And
So this is a preliminary tournament.
Yes, like
oh,
I said,
okay.
these are like the 4 brackets of the NCAA to the one.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
the champions,
stuff
yeah,
that gets
regionals
you
versus
to
the Final Four. Although the Final Four in this case is 12 teams.
Okay.
and I believe that championships are going to be played, at least the final game, or final bout's going to be on
Yes,
ESPN3.
That is correct.
nice.
And the Division
Oh,
II
wow.
championships will be on ESPN3. That's first time for roller derby since the rebirth of the sport.
That
Oh,
is
wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
actually,
It's better than the Ocho.
The Ocho.
We're gonna be we're gonna be better than squirrels water skiing.
Nice.
Though,
Nice.
to its credit, it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
awesome.
pretty
It's
cool.
not too
It's a
typical.
neat,
Yeah.
neat thing to see.
And this is not to ask the same question twice. It's more. I guess it's just me being slow. So maybe I didn't even get to this though. Is the fact that the Naptown Roller Girls is
He's either slow or way ahead of himself.
yeah, I'm all over the place
can't figure
here.
it out.
But the main team that travels in Division One, if possible, is the Tornado Sirens.
Correct.
Exactly.
And then the Warning Bells.
Yes, that's our B team.
So you have, and then is there a third?
Yes,
There
the
is.
Third alarm.
We're both members
Okay.
of the third alarm.
Okay. So that's kind of like your own. You guys will play each other and whatnot, and then
So we actually
also travel.
Yeah, so we travel. All 3 teams will play other leagues.
Okay. And those are the
travel.
matches or the bouts that happen over at the.
So the ones that happen at the Coliseum typically are the Sirens bouts. So
Okay.
that's
And
the A
sometimes the
team.
Bells in a
Sometimes they'll do a
doubleheader.
doubleheader and play both A and B teams.
Okay.
But generally speaking,
And those will
those
be
are-
some of the other Division A team or Division One teams from around the country.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a mix. A lot of it has to do with travel expenses because the sport is amateur. Leagues are owned basically by the skaters. Like we pay money to belong. So we don't have the budget of like a professional sports team. So in the past, we've had teams come from as far away as Maine and
Oh, wow.
South Dakota to play here, but we don't
Yeah.
have that as much anymore. But we generally tend to play teams from closer, like from the Midwest.
Sure.
like the Nashvilles and the
Yeah, Nashville,
Ohio,
Chicago, Ohio.
which are great teams to play.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some of the strongest
Yeah.
teams in the world come from this section of the country.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I think one of you said Gotham girls are one of the best team, but I saw at least in the ranking for the tournament this weekend in Omaha, Minnesota, it looked like they're the 3rd seed. The Windy City Rollers are seed 5th, so a lot of good Midwestern
Oh, yeah.
teams.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of really
So is it
good
pretty
teams.
collegial that if you guys are all kind of owned by the players, do you all kind of after
oh yeah,
about
the
like
atmosphere is great.
Oh, yeah.
after about we all hang. I mean, we have
You hang out
parties.
afterwards?
they have
yeah.
after parties and
Yeah.
everybody hangs out together and you find a lot of common ground. Like that's one of the greatest things about the sport is you make friends who are on other teams.
And you,
So after
I
you
mean,
rail past somebody and just,
Yeah,
knock
because
them
at
off
the end of the
track.
day,
long
this
as you're not
isn't
doing
our
the karate
job.
chop.
You help 'em,
Our
yeah,
paycheck
none of
doesn't
these.
depend on whether we win or lose.
Yeah.
As long as we're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll hear a lot of people complimenting each other on their play and that sort of thing after the bout. So yeah, it's very, very friendly.
So any women that want to join the team, the procedure?
Email freshmeat@naptownrollergirls.com.
That is
So, and we usually do
the
recruitment
best email
workshops.
address of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm sorry,
We
you
do
were-
recruitment workshops generally in the one in the summer and one in the winter. But that kind of evolves, so we don't know.
To be determined this fall, I would
Yes.
guess.
Yes.
As far
Okay.
as our season goes, this is kind of some breaking news. We're going to break it right
What?
here.
Oh.
I would say get ready to find out our season dates, our home season, our 10th home season. 10 years. Yeah.
It's a big year.
I
Yeah.
would say mark your calendars for February.
Okay.
You know that's Valentine's
This is a fly over
Day.
life first.
I know. We
I
have
think
not
a
had
breaking news on the show.
We do what
thank
we
you.
can.
Yes, thank you.
Well, with our 10th episode comes a 10th season of Naptown.
The stars
Roller
have
Girls.
aligned.
They have.
I
Yeah.
know. It was that crazy moon the other night.
Wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yep.
Or the water on, I don't know, the Mars water. I have no
Yeah.
idea, but yeah.
Donald Trump.
No.
Okay, maybe not.
But we can't go
maybe
there.
that's too
Yeah.
far.
Talking
No.
about the Fresh Meat email address for people that want to try out, join in or try out for the team. So Namaste, this is
Yes.
your first year then?
This is my first season. I tried out in February.
Okay.
And, made the team in February and started practicing with them in March. So yeah, this is my first season, and it was a great time to join because I was able to join with a really great group of girls, and we were able to kind of train really quickly, and we're able to bout this season. So within a month, or
Yeah, it was
maybe
only a
month and
matter
half,
of weeks.
we were bouting,
Oh, wow.
which is something that's pretty scary for somebody that's
Sure.
new. But one thing that I hear from a lot of people, because I always talk about Naptown, of course, when I'm out and about, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't skated since I was a kid. There's no way I could do that," or "I've never even roller skated. I've just rollerbladed." And I'm like, I put on skates for the first time in January.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Since I was a
Wow.
child.
Wow.
Not that I mean,
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed sports, and
Yeah.
I feel like I was able to kind of learn quickly, but still, like, it's not something that you feel like you can't, you don't have to worry that you can't do it if you haven't skated since you were a child. It's something that
Yeah.
you can learn.
You don't have to be a gifted athlete. I mean, we
No.
have gifted athletes, but you don't have to be. I mean, I'm sure not.
Yeah, I mean,
Straight up.
it's something that you'll be amazed. Anything that you do 3 times a week, where you're practicing 3 times a week for 2 hours at a time, you're gonna get better
Sure.
at it.
So
Yeah.
is there like a coach or anything? Because like if you've just
Yeah.
come onto the team, or whatever level you are in terms of the 3 teams that Naptown has, is there like who's making the decision of who gets slotted into what
We
team?
have a
Yeah,
committee.
We have
Okay.
a training committee. We have actually, so all of our skaters are expected to be part of a committee, and since it's a completely volunteer-run organization, we have lots of different committees. One of those is the training committee, and that's made up of our coaches and other people.
Most of whom are retired skaters.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of them are retired skaters, and
Some experience then.
And
with
some
the
are current
sport.
skaters
Like,
too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a nice mix.
so we
So-
have a few different coaches that we work with on any team, and they will run practices and they watch your progress and they do all the skills testing. So
Oh, cool.
when I joined, we about 3 weeks in, we had to be tested for minimum skills, which is part of the
That's a requirement.
WFTDA requirements. Is that you have a written test and then you also have a skills test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically for safety purposes, make sure you're okay to
Make
skate.
sure that you're ready to scrimmage with girls that have been skating for a while, because the first time you take a really solid hit, it's pretty terrifying.
I was going to get there. Just because we have legal backgrounds, do you all just like sign your bodies away when you
We
go
do
to,
sign waivers,
you know what I mean?
and
Because
we carry
it's
extra insurance
We have
through
insurance.
WFTDA on top of our regular. We
So
highly
there is a
recommend you
medical
have a primary
insurance.
insurance carrier. If you join
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sport.
I mean, they can't
Yeah.
necessarily force you to, but they basically you really don't want to join the league unless you have primary health insurance.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that is one expectation, and then
Yes.
we have insurance as well.
Supplemental
kind of a
or something.
Yeah, we
supplemental
pay a
for the-
one-time fee at the end of each year.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
smart
so
then.
part of that,
Okay.
expectation with the minimum skills is that how to hit and be hit and skate in a safe way
Yeah.
before you're
Yeah.
competing.
Then what? So as far as the funding goes and the revenue sharing and all that, because I went to some matches at convention center that a lot of folks are there. They're paying to get in, they're buying drinks, and they're having a good time. What share of that does the team get to put towards travel and uniforms and all that?
It's an
or is it-
expensive thing to put on a bout. So
It
we,
is.
We
Yeah.
pay a lot to put them on.
Because
Yeah.
we have to carry liability insurance. We have to pay for the bleachers and the seats. I mean, you saw the bleachers at the convention center.
Yeah,
It's
it
the
was-
same thing when we're in certain parts
It was
of
an
the
awesome
state
environment,
fair.
but yeah, it was big. It was big.
Yeah.
And
So
that costs money, the lighting, the sound. So we pay quite a bit to put on the events themselves. And we
Yeah.
want to make them at the same level as a professional sport because we
Yeah.
want to be considered in that arena. Because we feel like we're still like a great value because we are real athletes, even though we're not paid athletes. We're still real. We're still very, very fast paced, and you can go and see a bout of ours for $12.
And it's
Quite
some
a
of the
deal.
best 12 bucks you'll ever spend. It was an awesome.
There's yummy
my
Sun
experiences
King
anyway.
beer, and
Yep.
there's plenty of good, awesome fair food.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing about the makeup of the team. So for the breaking news, sometime in February, start of the season, have you already picked who's on what level of the teams and whatnot?
No,
or,
not
so
really.
that will be. I mean,
Like, when does that decision
of
get
course,
made?
that's sort of at this point we have the makeup of the teams ending this season and then going into next season. They'll probably reassess kind of things at the beginning of
There'll
the
be
season.
a shuffle, maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I mean, it
Possibly.
probably won't shuffle too much at the.
We do
beginning,
have,
but we don't ever know.
and people generally don't move up until after the season has begun, just because it's really hard to assess someone who's not been skating 3 times a week for
Okay.
an
Yeah.
X amount of time.
Yeah.
And we'll have people that will retire. Some girls will want to go on what we commonly refer to as the 9-month injury. And took you a minute, didn't it?
So there's some. No, I was like, yeah. So the shuffling is on the roster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you have
Right.
to have to
So-
fight for your spot, and that's one of the things that I love about it is that I'm a fighter by nature. I've fought for everything my whole life, so but we still have a tremendous camaraderie. I mean, how many interesting people have you or I met through this sport?
Oh, I know. I mean, that's one thing
It's
I will say
countless.
about the league is that, I mean, the skating is amazing. I love the sport itself. But honestly, I didn't play sports when I was in high school. It wasn't something that was really big for me. But joining roller derby, it's just the team atmosphere and just the support you get from these amazing people. We all have interesting stories. We all have.
Was there a friend that drew you to it, or was it just you thought, you know what, I didn't play sports growing up, but I want to do something competitive now? Like,
For me,
I'm a yoga person. Like,
I'm gonna do the opposite of you. Yeah. No. I mean, I do believe in balance, so maybe that's part of it. But I actually saw a couple bouts back probably when you were watching it, and had a couple friends or people I knew that were on the team, and I just was so impressed by it. I was like, oh, these are amazing women. They're so athletic. It's just when you go and watch a bout and you're, a young woman and
yeah.
you're kind of somebody that's already drawn to like confident, women. I saw that and I was just like, that's amazing. I want to do that. And then life got in the way. And then after I'm in my 30s now, and I was like, if I don't do it now, I mean, I went to a bout again in January, and I was like, I got to do this. If I don't do it now, I'm not going to ever do it.
Kudos
So
to you
I went
for
ahead and
making
did it.
that. Yeah, that
Same
leap.
way for me.
Yeah.
I started in my 30s also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, honestly, like after that, I actually emailed Fresh Meat at naptown.com and said that I was interested, and they connected me with a group of people that were practicing leading up to tryouts, and so then getting to know them and having sort of an investment because I was meeting these people and felt kind of accountable to them. that sort of kept me engaged. And then I tried out, and it actually is even way beyond what I could have imagined. So,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I will say that the one thing I tell people when they ask about the time commitment, it's a big time commitment.
It is.
It caused my husband to take up a sport because he had to find something to do on the nights I was at practice. Now, it's worked out because we've lost a combined 70 pounds.
See, there you go.
And he...
So he didn't take up, because if he's me, I'm taking up FIFA.
No, he
On
took
the
up Krav
PlayStation.
Maga
That's the
and
sport I'm
Brazilian
taking up.
Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. I'll be here.
He was doing that at first, and then
What did he take up?
he took up Krav Maga, which is mixed martial arts that's taught to the Israeli military. And then as
Sheesh.
an offshoot of that, he took up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is taught at the same place where he takes Krav. And he competed in the Hoosier Open this past spring and won his weight and age class.
Wow.
Which is really, really awesome. So now
But he
that's-
has you to thank, though, for that.
Yes,
because he
technically.
took it up.
Where's my credit?
Right,
He goes,
exactly.
Do you think
Yeah.
I should sign
Yeah,
up
you're
for
welcome,
Brazilian
honey.
Jiu-Jitsu? I'm
Yeah.
like, that sounds cool. Yes. Does that mean you could hurt somebody if my honor is threatened?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what that means. Awesome, great, perfect. You do that. So now I go too. It's great strength training, but I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that if it wasn't for roller derby.
Yeah.
It is great, though. I mean, I work in a pretty neat little consulting firm, and like they just are so supportive. They come to the bouts, and people get really excited about it. So it's nice if you
Yeah.
have like, people in your personal life and your professional life that are supportive of it, because it is a big time commitment, and it's something
Yeah.
that
And it sometimes could be a crazy time commitment.
Yeah.
The things you find yourself doing at 10 o'clock on a Thursday night are...
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
had a sort of impromptu pep rally for the Tornado Sirens before they went to Detroit, and we decorated our practice space and put up like glittery signs and made them gift bags, and we all stayed after practice to do that. And I was like, okay,
Usually
here
it's
it
getting
is.
a beer at Blackacre.
Yeah, usually it's going for a
I was
beer.
gonna say glitter. No, get me a beer at
It's beer and-
Blackacre.
We do like
It's
glitter.
beer
But
and food.
that speaks to the camaraderie, right, of it
Yeah.
all, like the support that you have mutually, I guess, for each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
So that is neat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very cool.
Well, I think at this point we start going over a couple of stories that I saw over the weekend. And I think one in particular that Brent is just chomping at the bit to talk about, maybe one or two, is just the IU football being 4-0. As good a time as any for you to rant and rave, Brent Vance on
I
IU
won't take
football.
up too much time, but I don't know if you guys are IU fans or football
went to
fans. Yeah,
I'm the daughter of two people who went to IU.
right. So you inherit the fans.
So,
I would assume.
My family is more interested in the basketball aspect, and when I say that, I mean they don't believe that the basketball program exists because Bobby Knight is not involved. But I digress.
You'll find that around
Yes.
the state. Yeah, definitely. But I can't quit my Hoosiers, the football team, and for the first time since 1990, they're 4-0 to start a season off.
That is impressive.
And for the first time since 1987, they have 5 straight wins if you count Purdue from last season. So we're talking the Reagan years, folks. That Indiana has had a season like this. So it's about to be probably dramatically upended because
say,
they're
isn't
playing
Ohio
Ohio State at home. But I'll tell you what.
3:30 p.m. Sunday,
3:30 p.m. on
Saturday on
Saturday.
ABC.
Yeah, ABC.
That's what my notes say.
We'll see. When you go 4-0, you get those spots, don't you? Definitely. So no, it's been neat to watch them so far. I've watched each game, and the defense is better. I know producer Mark has, remember his family, who's the coordinator for the defense at IU. So
What plays are they going to run? Tell us.
yeah, let's not give it away, buddy.
we won't,
all right.
we won't tell
I
anybody.
want those Buckeyes to know nothing when it comes to the
Yeah.
game. So yeah, it's awesome, and when you I guess to be bowl eligible in college football, you have to have 6 wins. So you have to.
So they're
still
2 wins away from a bowl game?
2
That's
win
amazing.
shot, right, isn't it?
This early,
Yeah,
For
this
IU
early in the
football?
year.
Since 1992, IU has gone to 2 bowl games, and the bar is set quite low for bowl games.
Wait,
these
since
days.
1992?
2.
2 bowl games.
It was 92
Wow.
and 07.
For public
Yeah.
schools in this state, yes, the bar is set pretty low.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I was,
So-
as I said, public schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, IU has not had a great football history as of yet. But so let's hope this year they can keep it up.
Sounds promising.
Ohio State be damned. I think we'll still, knock on wood, eke 2 out and then go to a bowl game. So
There you go.
yeah,
And then, do you have any thoughts, feelings? Just how are those feelies, the little feelies
My feels?
inside you about the Colts turning around pretty dismal performance into a win on Sunday?
I think as great as a W is, it still looked ugly as
It
all
was
get
still
out. You know what
pretty
I mean? It was
sloppy.
so bad.
I mean, they were up 14-3. I was actually on my way home. I'd been over in Illinois, and I was listening to the game on the radio, and I was like, all right, guys, we're up 14-3. This is great. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, Tennessee started creeping
They
towards
scored
the goal
27
Sure.
unanswered.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so the problem is that you really, 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 really need to work on your defense. That is a
Yeah.
huge
And
problem.
Andrew Luck can't throw 3 interceptions. You know that he's been. I mean, this last week we brought this up. He's kind of the criticism-free kind of next Peyton slamming, air, if you will. But he's had a rough year so far, and so
Yeah.
I don't know. You love the W, but you still have to be concerned about their play last
Yeah.
week. That you don't play like that and beat New England.
Oh, for sure. Well, how do
Right.
you feel about Pagano's comments after the game, basically insinuating he's not sure he's going to be around after this season?
I think he's right.
I think he's right too, and I heard that.
I'm not
I
a-
heard those same comments, and if a coach can already tell that this is probably it for them, the good news is that a lot of people have come from the Colts and gone on to do great things. Bill Caldwell, Bruce Arians,
Yeah.
just to name a couple.
Yep.
Right.
So, I mean, although I could see Pagano just saying, you know what, I've done what I came to do and just
Sure.
retire. I could see that happening.
I don't agree with like the ethos in Indy that it's Pagano's year to do well or he's gone. I think that's probably misplaced, but I do think that at this point he's not done enough to secure his future. It's early though.
Right,
It's
right.
early.
Or
We're a week away.
or if the opinion is, like what you were to continue your thought there is that
Yeah.
he's not going to be forced out, but he may just voluntarily say,
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, especially if the Grigson
Who wants to be in that kind of if
arguments are as big as they.
if the
say.
drama is that serious between those two guys, Chuck Pagano's he's not a BSer. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a straightforward guy. Like, if he doesn't want to be in that environment, he's gone. Right?
Yeah.
He'll leave on his own.
The man survived cancer. He shouldn't have to put up with that, just straight up.
Exactly right.
Right. Well, I think we've come to the end of the show here, kids. It went by fast.
It did go by very fast.
The last thing I
Unless
like
y'all
to
want to
do.
stay for half an hour or something.
The last thing I wanted to mention is a couple of things going on around the city. One of which I'm going to be hitting up tomorrow is the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra has a Wednesday night happy hour get together thingy
yeah.
at the
We need to
Hilbert
get a
Circle
group
Theater.
together and go to that.
5:30. I think it's sponsored by Stella and quite a few other folks. But just I think $10 or $15 for students, $25 for adults. You go in, it's all you can drink and eat, the different hors d'oeuvres and alcohol that they have available.
Yeah.
And then listen to Time for Three.
I think I heard all you can drink in there.
And then
Oh,
just
that's-
shut down. Yep.
Yeah.
Just stop listening after
I heard
all you can
eat.
drink. And then on Friday in Indianapolis, we've got the First Friday, so we got the food truck thing going on over at
Oh,
the
yeah.
so that'll be
The Murrah
at
or the
Mu-
Old National.
Old National or the
Old
Murrah.
National.
And I don't know if there's any other arts things going on too for First Friday. Usually there's like
Stuff everywhere.
yeah, stuff
Yeah,
everywhere.
there's stuff everywhere.
Anything you guys are looking forward to this weekend?
Oh goodness, I have a thing. Saturday, coffee, beer, and donuts, hosted by Girls Pine Out.
Okay.
Oh, Gross Pine Out. I know those
yeah.
folks.
Where
Yeah.
is Coffee, Beer, and Donuts?
That's going to be at Indy Fringe. It's a
Oh, yeah.
partnership between Girls Pine Out and Indy Fringe.
Okay. Yeah, we
They're
had folks from
doing-
Indie Fringe on the show earlier in
We
the year.
did.
Yeah, and they're doing a combination of pairings with breweries and pastry donut shops, kind of
Oh, cool.
pairing
Oh, wow.
coffee flavored beer.
Yeah, right.
Roasted coffee flavors, and then
So is that the
donuts.
Fringe location right here
Yeah,
on
I
Mass
believe so.
Ave,
I believe
What time
down
does
by
that start?
College?
It It's at 11
okay.
to 2, I think. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
Cool.
Personally.
That sounds. Now, if
Peyton,
is Girls
Miss-
Pine Out, is
Miss
it
Slamming if
ladies
you're
only?
nasty?
Right
It's
now.
not ladies only. A lot of the Girls Paint Out events lately have been co-ed. So
Okay.
they're
Anything you're
anyone-
looking for, Peyton?
I am going to a cancer benefit up at the Stack Pickle at 116th and Allisonville Road. It's for the Marnie Cancer Fund, which I believe is through Krav Maga Worldwide.
Okay.
And 20% of the proceeds, I believe, go to the foundation. And cancer research is near and dear to my heart because my father is currently a terminal cancer patient.
Sorry.
So I go to a lot of that type
Sure.
of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But coffee, donuts, and beer sounds really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And there's also the Cottage Home Block Party is this weekend.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right, it is.
Yeah, on Saturday.
All right. Brent, anything? Just Ohio, just IU Ohio State. That's it. That's Brent's weekend.
No, I don't want
So
to go
Bloody
into
Marys
this.
beforehand. And
No. I if I talk about this, I'll get upset. I have to go to a family birthday party this weekend, but I had secured some pretty awesome seats to the IU game, and so
So call Brent.
family
Adulting.
first.
Call Brent if you want to buy the
Actually-
tickets.
Adulting is hard.
Actually,
Adulting is
yeah,
hard.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I got ahead of myself when I went ahead and got those,
Oh,
and
no.
I have to back out and go to
That's a heartbreaker.
Which, if my cousin hears this, she's just going to be like,
Yeah.
"Listen."
Hopefully
I
she
thought
doesn't
you-
listen to
I
the
thought
show.
You loved me. But no, beyond that, not a whole lot else.
Great. All right. Well,
Cool
thank you,
folks.
ladies, for joining us this
Thank
week.
you guys.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll listen to us next
Naptown
week.
Roller Girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FlyOverLive and Facebook at facebook.com/FlyOverLive. The Naptown Roller Girls. What
Fresh
do you guys
meat.
have?
NaptownRollerGirls.com.
Instagram, Naptown Roller Girls. Twitter, Naptown RG. Facebook, Naptown Roller Girls.
And look forward to the season in February.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll
Thanks
have
a lot.
those dates out soon. Thank
Yep.
you guys.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you.
There's a black cloud rising, broad and wide, like a dark horizon before my eyes. Better pray for peace, guard my kin, 'cause the thunderhead is rolling